Hey guys, welcome back to Viva America, the only show where probably more Americans than Americans. And FYI, my dad is from New York. Now let's take a look at the drama, the saga between Ross Gerber and Elon Musk. Now, I do think this is funny. Honestly, I'm about to show you what he's doing, okay? And I know that if you're a Tesla investor, like I am, you're probably not happy, but you have to just think about perspective from this point into the next 5-10 years. That's the only way for you to be successful in investing in Tesla, because a lot of people are matching the stock versus the Ford Motor stock or General Motors, GM. The reality is you have to think these companies, they actually are very mature companies. If you take out GM because they went bust on the great financial crisis, you have to realize it's not actually the best investment or the best benchmark for you to kind of say, okay, Tesla stock is down 66% versus the NASDAQ. Okay, Apple and Microsoft, Apple being the #1 company on the planet, and then Microsoft being the giant that it is, getting all these contracts from the US government, you're not really matching apples versus apples. That's not what it is. Now, this is just the best comedy ever. And actually, I love Netflix. I'm getting a lot of my content from them. I'm actually watching this show. I like food. I eat. I enjoy eating. Also wine, red wine, white wine a little bit. But the reality is when you look at these shows from the US, I was watching this show, US Street Food, and they were talking about Cuba and how Miami, Miami, it has a bunch of influence from Cubans, that's true, but also people tend to forget about Black Americans, Black Caribbean. There's a lot of that. My point of the story is when you are finding benchmarks or you're suffering because your portfolio moved lower because XYZ investment has a more weight than the usual, or you decided that Elon was going to take you to the promised land, but they no longer is taking you to the promised land. That happens to Ross Gerber. I don't think you have to pose. You don't have to pose as the savior or a friend. You're not a friend with Elon, Ross. You're not a friend. You're an investor, and you probably have more weight than you're supposed to, and that's what's happening now. This is the drama between Ross Gerber and Elon Musk. Now, a lot of people accuse Elon not understanding what he's doing. Just pay attention to what he did. He flew to Qatar and he was recording, and he posted everything on his account. His account has, I think, 122 million followers, okay? 122.5 probably, I think he surpassed Barack Obama. But what you have to pay attention is what he's doing. And a lot of people saying like, oh, I think it's called Mastodon. A lot of people are moving to that. But pay attention. This video from December 18, 19, okay, 18, 19, 2021. Today's 21. This video on Twitter has been viewed 11.3 million times. Now, if that's not great marketing, I don't know what it is. It shows you that, first off, they have more and more subscribers. And I just want to show you, mathematically speaking, how it works. Because at the end of the day, all these social medias, they end the same way. They will try to sell marketing or advertising. That's a marketing scheme. That's all it is. So, for example, you take Twitter subscribers, okay? 238 million users. And this word, it's crucial. It means that you can monetize those users. And then if you take a look at what they were saying, that Twitter competitor went from 300,000 users to 2.5 million. And a bunch of marketing stuff that they do a lot in America, telling like, oh my God, overnight, the platform gained XYZ times subscribers. Yeah, but it's just because of. And then you still have to see if the user base will allow or be able to be monetized and something that you can sell to potential advertisers. Otherwise, going from 300,000 subscribers to 2.5 million, it can be in a second, doesn't mean anything at all. At all. It doesn't mean anything. So you have to pay attention. Now, the real thing, and why I'm always looking to record every week for you these videos, is for you to understand what's really happening. This is just a distraction. because I've been reluctant to buy puts every time that I get a put. Right now, it doesn't work because of the time frame. I have everything running, the algorithms that I use to trade, but I'm more focused in positioning, waiting for that opportunity where I will pull the trigger. Now, I think this is something to consider really what is happening. Whatever is your opinion on Elon is just that, an opinion. He knows what he's doing. Do I like? Nah, I don't like everything he's doing, but it is what it is. Now, moving away from these guys, there's something that is really happening. Chat GPT. Now, the most important I want you to pay attention is something that happened on December 16. Again, December. Yeah, December 16. And just for you to have a sense of how companies are evolving. In the case of this whole thing of AI, Chat GPT, this whole thing is backed heavily by Microsoft. Now, one of the things that happened where everyone is paying attention to Elon is that somewhere on December 16, okay, somewhere on this candle, let me just open this candle, okay, around this candle, okay, here, right there, okay, there was a rotation, capital rotation, about $7 billion. Let me repeat that, $7 billion right there. Now, you may think it's bearish because the market, Microsoft stock, ticker symbol MSFT, pushed lower about 4.5%. But I'm not so sure about that. The trick with volume is volume comes in, then the price has to push lower, allowing for a pullback and then the continuation to the high. It doesn't mean that there's a bottom in stocks. I still think we can easily visit, as Morgan Stanley thinks, 3,000. That will be the end. That won't be bad. And then a lot of companies don't need to actually make new lows. They already make those lows in 2022. But when it comes to big tech, not everyone is going to suffer. Now, you have Apple. Apple can actually become number 2 in the structure. And then Microsoft can, just because Apple is moving lower, Microsoft can actually push higher. Now, the bottom line of the story is I want you to pay attention to this level. December 16, again, around 244.60 something, around here. There's about, let me change the color. There's about $7 billion. Now, a lot of what happened is we're trying to figure, okay, are they loading or are they just selling? But based on the structure, unless we have a break, and there's a big gap here to be filled, which wouldn't be bad for Microsoft at 228, this actually is long, and I will be looking for 264 for next month. So once I know, based on the different algorithms that are run and the different sources that we use, then we want to apply and look for the structure. You can do that. You go to Quote Media, okay? Go to Quote Media, and for January 20, 2023, stock right now 241. I can see there's a bunch of stuff happening on the put side. Everyone is a put buyer. Everyone is expecting the market to crash. Everyone knows how to buy an option. Bah, bah, bah. But the reality is, there's some activity that you can pinpoint and think, you know what, there might be a surprise. And based on that $7 billion rotation in Microsoft stock at 244 on December 16, I think there's something that may surprise by January. Now, 265, 19,000 contracts in the open interest so far. I potentially be paying 137. Now, the reason why I like 265, potentially 270, is because of the structure. If you pay attention, this is the daily chart on TradingView. Take a look at the high, the liquidity up here. It goes between 261 to 264. I'm not going to look for something all the way past here. Think about 267. Doesn't make any sense. But I can take 261, 263. Then it makes sense for me to go and pick this particular options contract. If I don't want to pay too much, I'll probably take $200 and buy 2 contracts, maybe 3 contracts. I will go to the 270. Once I do that, because I see the action, I see the open interest activity, then I'm like, okay, cool. How much money can I make? Well, this whole thing back on December 12th, not too far from $4. So if I'm getting at 87, I probably want to say, okay, I can easily go for $2. Is that something realistic? Yeah, it is realistic. Everyone, including Uber drivers, no, I'm not trying to be offensive to Uber drivers, but the point is everyone is buying puts. Everyone is buying puts. And when that happens, you want to make sure you go in the other direction. the open interest and the structure that I understand based on the algorithms that we run at the Market Surveillance Alliance are calling me for understand that I want to be a buyer when I want to be a buyer of call options when everyone is a put buyer. Guys, that's all I have for you today. Remember, Viva America, the land of the brave, the land of the opportunities, okay? Thank you so much for watching. If you like the show, just give us a like, give me a like. If you don't like it, I know, well, maybe you want to say something, don't be offensive. Go to the comment section and let me know what you think about Elon versus Ross Gerber and what you think about this idea when it comes to potentially trade Microsoft for next month. Thank you for watching, guys. I see you soon, okay?